Okay, welcome everyone to a very special record club. episode.
Guys, the cat's talking.
Welcome everyone to a very special record club episode of the Jams and Tea podcast, where we spin the jams and spill the tea. Today, we are joined by a very special guest. Just staring at me.
Hello, Judi Dench from Cats.
One of the reasons that I think that Fushumang kind of is better than this is because this album plays so far away from not only the band's strengths, but Harwell's strengths, because I find that on songs like Satellite and Radio and I gotta look at the actual track name, but it starts with, it's the second track, it's Digging. Is what I what's the Digging Your Scene.
I have to admit, approaching this when Saoirse recommended it for our record club, I was a bit confused because I was like, it has this meme song on it, I get that, but like really, I mean, what else is there going to be to talk about with this album? Like, what is the identity of this record? What is the narrative of the album that's going to make it interesting to...
Sorry, the cat is so close to the camera. He's just looking right at me.
It's also like getting the background on it a little bit.
Yeah. No, that's nice.
So yeah. So it's like, it's yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's strange approaching this record because I really didn't have any idea of what to expect from it.
This is a nightmarish image. It looks like the cat is like giving birth to your head while licking itself.
Dude, this
in the background is Smash Mouth, and I feel like I'm losing my mind.
This posthumous Obayashi movie looks really awesome.
So who's there? It's an interesting opener. Like I said, it kind of does establish this kind of theme for the album. It has a kind of like pulse to it, and it sounds, I don't know, it definitely sounds of its time, but I dig it. I think it's a solid track. I've already said I really love, like legitimately just love the song Digging Your Scene. I just find it super fun and irreverent. It's stupid in a way that is just genuinely charming, that I think the record goes for frequently, but seldom actually, it doesn't often land. So that's nice that it kind of does there. Yeah, so I dig that track a fair bit.
I'm looking at a fever dream.
That's what listening to this record is like in some ways.
Yeah, I was just trying to simulate that. Like, so the thing is, like, the album, like, I wrote this before I really got to the back half of the record, but like the album sounds of its time, but honestly,
1999 is like a nexus where everything and nothing happened. That's when The Matrix dropped, and like everything just
Fight Club.
Yeah, wild time. Morgan again was born.
Dropped.
That certainly had an impact.
Morgan dropped out of his mother's womb.
I am the sickest mixtape.
There are a lot of things where the dumb, cheesy aesthetic can work here, but I think
it's like you have a platter of like a bunch of like molded cheese, and like occasionally, like if you go to like Europe or some shit, like occasionally, like, cause a lot of like beloved cheeses around the world are actually like molded and rotten and disgusting, but like that's apparently what makes them good. Bear with me here. This record is like a platter of those cheeses, and you have to try every single one, and they're all shit, except for maybe one or two where you're like, okay, I can kind of get the vibe of why this is a popular cheese, but it doesn't at all redeem the fact that I've had to sample 13 other cheeses that taste like fucking a child's diaper.
yeah, no, that's
really painted a word picture there.
3 guesses as to who directed the video for Smash Mouth's All-Star.
Was it David Fincher?
Brian De Palma.
Nope.
Well, I have one. What's the guy who directed The Cell?
Tarsum Singh.
Tarsum Singh, was it?
It's none of those things. It's the exact person you would expect to direct the video for Smash Mouth's All-Star.
Brett Ratner?
Is it Steve Harwell?
Mick
himself?
G.
Ooh.
G. Big G. What a piece of work.
That's the perfect summation of this.
And one more thing.
One more thing.
There's a live
right.
performance section here. There's a June 14th, 2015 performance of the song at Taste of Fort Collins event in Fort Collins, Colorado. Went awry after members of the audience started throwing loaves of bread onto the stage. While the rest of the band repeated the opening riff of All Star, Steve Harwell began a 3-minute profanity-filled verbal tirade against the crowd, with him threatening to beat up anyone who threw more things onto the stage. Security restrained Harwell after he tried to enter the crowd. The band continued playing while the crowd sang the song in place of him.
I'm just imagining the opening riff on repeat and Steve Harwell's just screaming, fuck you all, you fucking pieces of shit.
It's
I'm
like the end of
shit
shit
for 15 years.
Steve Harwell being dragged off stage and the crowd sings the song in place of him is the ideal way to listen to All Star.
I also was listening this week and last week, was listening to a lot of Opeth. And I had a bit of.
Who are you and what have you done with Jake?
Anyway, it's Ghost Reveries.
What, I mean, I don't have words. It's just everybody.
Neither do Autechre.
There's like there's like a
actually-
handful of Autechre songs that do have like lyrics in some sense.
Actually, our Tucker do have lyrics. We auto-generated them.
Oh yeah, yeah. We there's this bot you can text, right, and it will like you send the name of an artist, and it will like send back to you auto-generated lyrics in that artist's style. And so August thought, as a wise a sage as he is, to text Autechre and see what came up. And do you want to reveal to our listeners?
I absolutely will. So these are the lyrics from Autechre.
Sign official lyrics right here.
Sign official lyrics. All right, let's go. I'm going to cry because I'm so happy. But I'm not really happy, my friends say. But I'm not really unhappy, my friends say.
There's a lot of. I feel like there's the duality there of, is it really happy, or as in a qualifier for how happy you are, or doubting the validity of this actual emotion. Many thoughts had full.
So fucking deep.
And then Everything Ends Last Year is one of the most fragile and affecting tracks on this record.
Yeah.
It's October, and I'm Tyler. It's.
He really thought he did something there.
I'm so disappointed.
I only said that because some people have said that one lyric so many times in this review so far, but it is a good line.
It's October and you're fired.
I'm not taking responsibility for that.
It's crazy to be in the ocean and lazy to drown. Crazy like this, there's a dark hell waiting for you. It's not what we want, it's like that. It's crazy like drowning like a little cat. I didn't need to hear that.
It's just funny.
Yeah, no, it is. It's certainly like, I'm not like saying, putting my critical hat on and saying,
No, I know.
this 6-year-old's pen game is whack. It's just like,
That being said, as much as annoying as I find his work on that
pen
song,
game is not up to the quality of his fun.
as annoying
He will never be successful.
Where the bars at, Lil Ace?
Little
look,
Ace,
it's-
retire bitch.
This track solidly establishes this as the our Mad Lads of albums with the Peter Dinklage bar.
Oh, that fucking kills me every Okay, actually,
perfect
most
time to rhyme
relatable
with
moment.
Peter Dinklage.
Most relatable moment on the album is not when he says it's October and I'm tired. It's when he, with legitimate and actual frustration, goes, "Man, what the fuck is wrong with me?"
I think the most relatable line on this album is "I feel you. This is a head-ass support group."
That is this podcast.
Uh-huh.
This is a head-ass support group.
And also, it's called Hard Normal Daddy. which is album title.
Yeah, it's been really weird seeing you all talk about that album, just because nobody has ever like mentioned the fact that it's called that, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, you're doing what with a normal daddy?
What the funniest thing about that title though is the word normal. Like, what is a normal daddy?
Is there a hard abnormal daddy? It implies the existence of a hard extra daddy.
I just want to imagine Werner Herzog being like, "Show me the daddy."
Yeah.
I hate this conversation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Jams Tea Podcast, where we spin the jams and spill the tea. Today, we are coming at you with a brand new episode where we are going to be talking about the new release from pop icon Ariana Grande, her new album Positions, as well as the new album from acclaimed electronic artist Oneohtrix Point Never. We're going to be talking about the new album Magic Oneohtrix Point Never. And on the Record Club this week, after this episode, we are going to be talking about August's recommended record this week, which is John Zorn's Spillane. What are you fucking doing?
I'm adding some fun to the.
You are.
It's very clear if you're watching this so far that we don't think very highly of this record, but I'd like to try and really get to the bottom of why it doesn't work. And it's not just because, you know, Ariana tries to make a sexy record and you know, she doesn't know how to do it necessarily. Like
She has been sexy.
Yeah, exactly. She has been sexy and she has a lot of sex appeal and she knows how to channel that. She has done that pretty well in the past. The issue with Positions is that it's just not a record that feels like it's had very much work put into it at all. It feels very undercooked. It feels sloppy. It feels unconvincing.
That could be like
August?
a Midwest Emo album cover. August Red
Yeah. So.
He's taking up a position. What can I say?
There are also just so many scattered lines that are attempts to be sexy on here and just make me really just like, I'm just not into a lot of this. Like, how have you been using your tongue? That's a lyric that's repeated multiple times, and I'm just
it's not just that, it's the fact that she rhymes it with "how are you using your time," and when she does that, I feel like I'm tired in the shadows and want to hit the not a rhyme button hard.
I also just imagine her like licking a clock for whatever reason, just because, I mean, I have to do something with the mental imagery in my head.
Licking a clock.
Which leads me to on 34 plus 35, where the least sexy euphemism for sex ever employed is put in with "just give me them babies." Nothing makes me want to fuck more than the concept of childbirth. Thanks, Ariana. Also, the solid second place for the least sexy thing on this record. You know I keep it squeaky. Like, Jesus Christ, if you're trying to keep yourself squeaky, see a fucking doctor. That should not happen.
So let us know in the comments below what you think of Ariana Grande's Positions and Oneohtrix Point Never's Magic Oneohtrix Point Never. Yeah, were we too harsh on Ariana? Please regale us.
I love the way it sounds when you say, like, what did you think of Ariana Grande's Positions? Somebody just be like, I'll tell you what I think about her Positions, all right.
Something tells me that you've definitely been accosted by someone like that in a bar.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like.
Okay, so that's that. Hello, I love you.
I love you too, honey.
But that's a lot to do with who he is. He is a saxophonist, multi-instrumentalist.
Sorry, I thought you were about to say he is a sex offender for some reason.
It's the election, Tyler. It'll do that to you.
Yeah.
Build up expectations.
Exactly.
And then I saw the cover, which, irrespective of the album, Jesus Christ, it's she is a pop legend, but not so much that she can't secure some good album art, because I mean, what in God's name is happening?
Graphic design is my passion.
I've thought about this heavily this week, and I actually think that...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't... No, I don't like using this phrase, but I do think that album art is an example of something that is so bad it's good.
Okay, fair enough.
I thought you were about to be like, and here's why.
I don't think it's great.
Here's my 3-page essay on why Kylie Minogue's Disco is a good album cover.
It's a terrible album cover, but it's terrible in really funny ways. That means I can't stop looking at it. When
it definitely has that quality about it. Like
it makes me think of the same way that Shut Up and Dance's Dance Before the Police Come. Makes me think of that.
That is a cover.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Godhood.
Oh my!
You know what? I want to talk about my journey very briefly. I'll keep it brief with this album cover. Because the first time I saw it, I thought that it was a beam of light that Kylie's disembodied head was emerging from.
Which would have been amazing.
Immediately I was like, oh wow, okay, that's a cover. So then I thought, that's actually that's stupid, but it's also like, I respect that. And then I was listening to the album and I was looking at the cover some more, and then I realized, oh no, actually no, her torso is there. She's just wearing a black dress.
Yeah.
And she has her arms out like this. And I'm like, okay, so she's doing like this T-pose thing with her like head emerging from this beam of light. And then I kept staring at it and listening because I listened to this album 3 times. And I think it was on the 3rd time that I realized that she's not actually T-posing. She's doing this weird thing with her arms.
Yeah.
Where it's not even that. It's like she's got one hand like this and the other hand like this. And the beam of light's actually emerging from her hands.
She's doing the Run the Jewel symbol is what she's doing.
No, she's like the X-Men character that's got like the laser that emits from his chest.
Saoirse, it's like someone with Alzheimer's misremembering the RTJs. Anyway, just real journey I had with that cover.
You're a pop star. Mondays do not matter to you. Get a grip.
Get real.
5.5 out of 10.
Fucking David Lynch down there. Get real.
Get real.
Fucking morons.
On your fucking telephone.
You're listening to disco on your fucking telephone.
Yes.
Imagine someone with like a rotary dial phone picking it up and listening to Kylie Minogue.
That very noticeable shift to more personal, direct lyrics. I mean, on their first album, for all I care, the lyrics could be like fucking, for 1,000 years I've wandered these halls waiting for the wizard to unslap my balls.
I'm not picking 2 favorites. My favorites are all of them. My least favorites are none of them. As Tyler said, this is an 11 out of 10 album. So if somebody gives it a 9, it's still a 10.0. Not how math works, but
very true.
Fuck math.
Yeah. So,
Opeth better.
So if I had to pick 3 favorite tracks, I would pick the Leper Affinity, the Drapery Falls, and the title track. If I had to pick a least favorite track, it would be more like, in this case, like I said, like the least phenomenal track. Then I would pick the Funeral Portrait. And I'm gonna hedge here, and I'm gonna give it a very strong 9.5 instead of a 10. I know that
Go to jail.
I know my grave is already being dug for me, but I've just been thinking.
You liar!
I've just been thinking about it.
You've misled me.
No, I've been thinking about it, and I've listened to this record like twice this week, which I know is like nothing for you two. You listen to this thing when you have breakfast every morning, but I've listened to this record twice this week, and I've thought a lot about it with relation to the other Opeth records that I like the most, and I like them more but this is still basically a perfect record, and I'm going to give it a 9.5 just for the sake of making sure that my 10s are more meaningful.
I think that's valid, personally.
I'm glad you think it's valid, Saoirse. I feel like a fool. This is going to have like the highest rating of any album all 5 of us reviewed, and Morgan's still going to be disappointed.
I'll
Damn
go
right.
with the Leper Affinity, the Drapery Falls, and Blackwater Park. But
Jake looking like some rap songs right now.
yeah. My rating. I want to be perfectly
Why don't
clear
my
about
fucking
this.
webcam work? We are going to be talking about Tyler's favorite current working band, I believe, the Twilight Sad. We are going to be doing a brand new B-sides episodes of their entire discography. I have been listening to every single thing they've made every day. I'm sad. I'm sad all the time.
It's right in the name.
But
Yep.
specifically at Twilight.
Devastating is an understatement. And yet, I find it comforting. The desperation in James's voice grows to have a certain warmth in the album's cold and brittle world that it makes. The guitar tones feel like a snowstorm, and you're desperately trying to keep warm. It feels like going on some long, aimless road trip where the night lasts forever, and you never stop going. It's like seeing your own personal version of Silent Hill for nearly an hour. It is an acknowledgement of the oppressiveness of abuse, but it's also an escape, a fantasy to be used to drive far away from the people and the memories that keep you bound to the places that you want to leave behind the most, to brave whatever may come. And in the words of James himself, to forget the night ahead of you.
It's like being chased by something you can't see is how that groove makes me feel.
It's like being chased by a rave that's out to murder you, but they're playing music you really like.
It's like when you're a little kid and you have to go down to the basement in the dark, and like once you get what you need out of there, you're running back up the stairs, and like there's nothing behind you, but you're running like there is, and it's like it's scary, but it's like a little bit exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
That gif of that baby running into a room and just being like, oh, and then just turning around and hightailing it.
Yeah. But
His legs start spinning like Looney Tunes.
One more thing I want to add, that just as a detail that you may or may not have already known. You can take from it what you will, but the album title is actually a line in Cormac McCarthy's book, The Road.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to sit here for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like when I learned that Jerry Cantrell played the solo on Phantom Bride on Gore, but like the exact polar opposite emotional reaction.
Like oh.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but someone named Sir John Nipples just retweeted that cat vibing to Aesop Rock.
Yeah, he's one of my longtime mutuals on both my.
Well, shout out then to Mr.
Nipples.
Mr.
Hey,
Nipples.
he's a great dude. He's awesome. You should follow him.
Oh man.
I shall now read his bio, which says I should probably note that I'm not a registered sex offender. Purely public-facing nipples, i.e. no DMs. Would a registered sex offender insist on no DMs?
Great dude. He's awesome.
God damn, I bet Sir John Nipples, the Sword in the Stone story would be very different.
I would trust him with my life.
His at is benign syphilis.
Jesus Why is this benign syphilis? What is this? A fucking Ween song?
This isn't a real person.
Well, I'm glad he retweeted that video because it's very good.
And Ramshackle Glory is kind of the in-between space in his career before he did solo stuff. And it has a song on it I've loved for a really, 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 really long time called Your Heart's a Muscle the Size of Your Fist.
Love Gang of Youths.
See, I was resisting it. I was resisting it, but you just...
Look, I didn't do it because it would be a good joke. I did it because Saoirse was talking and couldn't make the joke herself.
Sure. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, I actually think that if you're curious about folk punk, this is a wonderful place to start if you're curious. It's just really fun, emotionally potent, just really anarchic and fun. Like one of the first songs has the hook of I wanted to kill my landlord, but he was pretty nice. Another record on the list of why the fuck haven't I heard this before being Madvillainy.
Oh, right.
Great record.
Yeah, which I enjoyed very much. The production is outstanding, the writing's really good, the performances are great.
Tripping on the beat, kind of tripping off the beat.
You're doing great, honey.
Listening to a white boy try to rap a Daniel Dumoulin verse is the funniest fucking thing.
Dripping off the beat, kinda. Dripping off the meat grinder.
What?
Charming.
Why did you sound like Slow Tie? Let me just briefly read some of this verse here. Born of an elusive baboon troop, horseflies, the backstroke, and the boot soup. Show up like an eyeball in a moon roof. One false move, dude, and you're in a food group. Old friends turn to flames in a hayride. I was kind of unimpressed with the AI. Get gutsy or crushed, and the canines bring a steak knife, bring a trail guide, breaking out of that boarded house. Faking normal has worn me down. Hit the road, an old misanthrope. Alone, tip me over, pour me out. Like, this is elite.
What'd you do that for? Mr. Rock. I would like to speak to Mr. Rock.
I listened to one of the biggest disappointments of this entire year. Glass Animals, Dreamland. So for those of you who don't know who Glass Animals are, they're kind of this indie pop band that kind of made waves in sort of alty, indie, poppy circles in the middle of this decade, and they put out a great album in 2016, I think, called How to Be a Human Being, that had some quite successful singles on it. It's kind of very sugary, but also kind of quite eccentric and weird and quirky kind of indie pop record that has a lot of really strong hooks and vocal melodies, and it's just a really addictive and sugary and fun record. And so this new record, Dreamland, is the follow-up to that, and it's bad.
It's bad.
It's so bad, you guys.
Oh
It's
no!
so bad.
like bad.
It's
Like not even
yeah.
disappointing.
It's
Oh no!
bad. Like. So I've described to you this sugary indie pop band, and what they're doing here is they're making like clubby trap influenced, like vaguely hip hoppy. Not consistently though. Like there's definitely shades of that poppier sound, but it's like there's a song that has a oh fuck, which rapper is it? That sounds so bad that I don't remember which rapper it is. There's a
Big
song.
Sean.
No, it's a great famous rapper that we all love, and I'm forgetting who it is because this album
Mike
just
Eagle or something.
Danny Brown.
This album just absolutely vacated my brain, and I can't remember who it is.
LP.
It's Denzel Curry. He has
Oh
a feature.
no!
He's a feature on this record, and it's handily the most. It's funny that I say this now because I didn't remember his name, but his feature is the most memorable thing about this album.
Oh dear.
And one thing I need to bring up,
And across this whole album, Megan is just going like, bleh. I don't fucking get it. She's going like, bleh, bleh.
Bleh. It's like the lead singer of Typo Negative when he goes like, blah.
Yeah. It's not sexy. It's just like awkwardly placed throughout the songs.
It sounds like that
Especially-
she smelled something really unpleasant, and she's just reacting to that.
Yeah, especially like our beloved track Body, where she body yada yada yada
Yada, 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 yada.
My three favorite tracks are Automation, Straws in the Wind, and Odd Life. My least favorite track is Honey, and the record gets a light 8 out of 10 from me.
Okay, well, one of my 3 favorite tracks is Honey. I apologize for that, but
Why?
Well, yeah, I'm totally offended that you happen to like a song I didn't like. Thank you for your apology.
You motherfucker.
There's a song on here called Fuck Tyler. Yeah, well, actually, Search is like, oh, yeah, well, actually, I'm sorry, Tyler. I actually kind of liked, I think they made some points.
You dumb motherfuckers. I'm going to prison. You know that, right?
I'm going to jail, you
you
understand?
let him get away with it in public.
Yeah, Straws in the Wind, Automation, and Odd Life are my 3 favorites.
Odd Life. Sorry. Drinking Park Life bipolar thing. Sorry.
Do not
I got that,
speak of-
Tyler. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I got it. I get it. It's funny. Damon Albarn. My least favorite is Ontology, and we good?
Yeah.
All right.
Just crying.
Yeah.
6.5 out of 10.
So, my
Oh,
favorite
don't
tracks.
oh me. You gave it a 7.
Yeah.
What are you awing about? We gave it the same rating.
It was an onomatopoeic expression of expulsing air. Let's move on.
I give it a 7 out of 10 and would also like to say that there is a music video for Straws in the Wind that is very reminiscent of the music video for the rapping song on Roll the Bones. It looks exactly the same.
What?
I'm not kidding. Look at
What have you just said to me?
If you look at it, you will instantly just be like, oh no.
The biggest takeaway that I just took from that was that the rapping song on Roll the Bones has a music video.
It was the lead single.
It was
does.
yes, it was in fact.
It's got a skeleton.
Oh,
Do you
you've seen the
wanna know
meme.
something- Do you want to know something else, lads? So this album just got a 6.9 from us. Do you want to know what else got a 6.9?
Nice.
Next week on Record Club, we're going to be discussing Ween's The Mollusk, another sort of concept album. It's not like a concept album in the same sense as this one is, but it has a unifying theme, which is SpongeBob, not literally. It predates SpongeBob, but it's like
Who lives in a
unifying-
pineapple under the sea? Oh, shit, man!
Yeah, the unifying theme of The Mollusk.
Absorbent and
is-
yellow and porous is he.
Oh, shit, man!
Certainly was not expecting to come away thinking they're one of the greatest rock bands of the 90s. But yet here we are with that as well. And yeah. I guess... Does anyone mind if I do my review?
Go ahead.
By all means.
Okay, cool. I know I've gone first a few times today, but I just feel like I have a lot to say. Well, that's not unusual, Tyler. Okay.
What the fuck was that?
that was me having a Norman Bates moment.
Yeah,
He wouldn't
really,
reveal
it's a little
it.
scary.
We hate sick precious.
That's it. That's what it was. It was a Smeagol moment. It was a Smeagol moment. I'm sorry.
We love these hobbitses. No, we hate them precious.
You sound
Carry
exactly like Gene on one of the songs on this record. Anyway,
What he sounds like is the fucking vocal mixing on the second half of I'm Dancing at the Show Tonight.
Is he? But is his name literally Gene Ween?
No,
No.
it's the Gene and Dean Ween are their stage names.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought
it's
their
like
names
the
were actually
Ramones.
Ween. Oh my
Gene
god.
and Dean Ween, if that is his real name.
I think
I'll
of them
just-
like it's kind of a Ramones thing where they just call themselves that because
The
it's
artist formerly known as Ween.
Yeah. So
Miss
the
Gene.
mollusk. Mollusk is
Gene Weenie lives on his back.
I apologize.
I've been listening a lot to one of my favorite records ever recorded, Deaf Consciousness by Have a Nice Life. So I finally sat down and listened to Giles Corey, self-titled Giles Corey, which, I mean, it's just the most bleak thing I've ever heard in my life. It's an album with a song called No One Is Ever Going to Want You. And unironically, last 2 minutes of that song slap like a motherfucker. Like I like if it didn't make me feel like shit, I'd be like, let's fucking go. But I also just feel like
It's ironic if we're talking about song titles that you've been listening to that because you are literally waiting for black metal records to arrive in the post.
which also has a similar moment to that.
In the post.
Because at the very end,
in Steven Spielberg's The Post.
waiting for black metal records to come in the post. 2017.
Wow, you're gonna wait a while watching that movie.
that sucks.
I've gone on here and rambled and ranted about so many records I hate this year. You know, we sat here through Idols, through Biffy Clyro, through the Pineapple Thief. I didn't think it could get worse. But just leave it to one Billiam Patrick Corgan, the man who cannot spell, to just turn everything around. This is almost impressive. I feel like white noise is too gentle a term to describe what's actually happening here.
Well, white noise can be pleasant.
No, this is gentrified white noise.
This I've never in my life, not even for the Pineapple Thief, have I heard a record that's is so laser focused on sounding like nothing. This is the most dry, impactless, dead. I would describe it as a dead album. I feel like most albums have some sort of life to them, even if they're bad or even if they're boring, they at least have some life to them. This is music written by a corpse. And like not even like a reanimated one, not even like a ghost, because that might be interesting. Hell, that sounds pretty cool. I'd love to hear that music. This is a record written by a corpse in the atheist sense of the word, in that they are goo now and they have nothing to offer. Let's run through some of these tracks real quick.
Must we?
This is dopamine. This is my
we're
reward
here.
for the album.
Don't ever say the word dopamine to me again. Yeah, but one of the two lead singles that they released kicks off the album, "The Color of Love."
Spoiler, it's gray. Like the album.
I don't know how you would guess that, Tyler. It's not like fucking he does it. He tells you like 75 times.
It's not like it's one of the 7 words used in that song.
The album, 7 words.
The album.
Yeah.
I think back to "Stand Inside Your Love," which is like
it's a great song.
Just one of their best songs, and it does evoke a similar feeling to the first time you hear the title track on Green Day's "Father of All," because there's like
this can't this like to anyone. Tyler's having an episode, and I completely understand. I'm just gonna let him work that out.
Let him grieve.
Yeah.
Five stages, man.
It's just like to anyone who says that people don't change. I want to show them Stand Inside Your Love and then play them The Color of Love. And just, it fundamentally could not have been written by the same person. If you listen to it with like one earbud in and you're not really paying attention, you're just like, yeah, this is bad, but like so innocuous, I can't really have strong feelings on it. And then you really listen to it. And it's just such a tribute to vapidity, and it just sounds like nothing. And it is maybe the best track on the album.
Handily.
I want to time travel to 1995 and tell people who are falling in love with melancholy for the first time and say to them that in 25 years, this same man will write a chorus with the main line of "Say I done told you."
I want to read from the press release about this from Billy about this song specifically. Sear is dystopic folly, one soul against the world sort of stuff, set against a backdrop of shifting loyalties and sped up time. To me it stands as both hopeful and dismissive of what is and isn't possible with faith.
Oh, go jerk off to the Rorschach segments of Watchmen more, you libertarian weirdo.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up!
In Time, starring Justin Timberlake.
That's just
I
the
love
worst
that
thing
little
I've
press
ever
release
heard.
because it's like perfectly meaningless in the same way that all of the writing on the album is.
So yeah, that's the title track. I'm going to listen to a little bit of Dulcet in E right now because I have no fucking idea what it sounds like.
I can hear.
Oh, it sounds like everything. It sounds like everything else on the album.
Can I just talk about how there's a repeated lyric on this that fucking kills me? From our tree swings an apple, a pear, or a candle.
Oh.
What are you talking about?
So we get to Witch, and it's like, oh, a guitar on the Smashing Pumpkins album? I've been saved. No, it's the worst guitar ever recorded. I'm not exaggerating. I study this shit like I'm paid to. This is the worst guitar tone I've ever heard in my life. Once again, the man forgets how to spell, or disappears so far into his own rectum that this is just how he sees words. This is like some form of ass dyslexia. I don't know.
Can I just put a fucking listening to this is a particularly kind of maddening because Morgan said it himself that it's just like when you really sit down and listen to it, it's a tribute to vapidity, which is fucking perfect. It's exactly what it's like. This can only be even moderately enjoyed as background noise, and even then, it is insipidly obnoxious. But I was sitting there and I was just like, I don't fucking know what to say about this. And thankfully, that's changed since then. But I was like, I panicked and I was like, this is an album that is 20 songs long. It is an hour and 12 minutes in length. And I do not know if I can summon a single word to say about it. I don't know what can be said about this. So I decided to try and look at the lyrics.
Oh no.
You oaf.
What lyric?
This, I just want to say this just so we can get it out of the way so we don't have to worry about it anymore. Every single line on this album means fucking nothing.
None of these songs are about anything. It is about vague, impressionistic nonsense. There are not stories. There are not ideas. There are not vaguely... like, this isn't even like a thing where you could, you know, make an argument like, oh, you know, the Twilight Sad, you kind of gotta be a little, No, this is nothing. The songs don't even have the fucking common fucking decency to, like, separate themselves from each other. Like, if I have to hear Billy Corgan say the word love or heaven one more time, I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna break his bald fucking head open, and I'm going to drink his brain. I hate it so much.
I mean, well, it is a bunch of goop, so drinking it would be no problem.
Yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. The lyrics are nothing. They're nothing.
If you drink his brain, I'm going to pump your stomach. I'm not letting that linger inside you.
Thank you.
That's a fair point. This
is what friends do for friends.
So
friends don't let friends drink Billy Corgan. You can see right through it. I feel like if I took a pencil and poked it into the mixes of these songs, they would deflate. Like if you fucking blew up a condom like a balloon. It's bad. Fuck Billy Corgan. I hate it. Next.
Yeah, so this album is, of course, a 72-minute long obelisk dedicated to the 7,000 story tall skyscraper Billy Corgan has constructed up his own ass. Yeah,
I love the penthouse suite there.
I want to tweet that. I want to treat this like slam poetry. Like I want
to. It is impressive that this man has written a 72-minute long album with 20 tracks, all of which he does to the tune of the Long Man series of commercials. It just is an album that like seeps into the background. It desperately like crawls and claws its way, using every song as an excuse to go to the background of your mind. You're just staring into the void, and the void doesn't stare back. You just realize you are the void. You are 99% empty space. You are fucking nothing, Billy Corgan.
To summarize, what does all this mean? What did I suffer 72 minutes of this shit for? Because I would have done it regardless of the podcast. Because, like, after a certain point, you feel compelled. It's almost like a sunk cost fallacy with a band like this.
Yeah.
It's like I have spent so much of my life listening to Siamese Dream and Gish and Adore and Melancholy that, like, I'll listen to pretty much anything you make. And especially after, like, not knowing or caring about his political views at this time. I was a Billy Corgan defender for several years. It was like, look, the guy's just misguided when he's bad. Like, Zeitgeist is a terrible album, but it's an album with ideas, and it sounds like something, like they were going for something, and they just failed. And it happens. It happens to geniuses sometimes. So I like one of the best songwriters, maybe the best guitar player of the 90s. Like, I was on the train, man, no matter how fucking nuts he was. It was almost a Kanye type relationship with him, particularly in his, like, public eye thing. Like when he was, like, messing around with Courtney Love on Twitter in, like, 2008. It's hilarious. It's apt that this comes a few days before my 21st birthday, because this is like the death knell to my childhood heroes.
Oh my god.
These people are not. I trust no one anymore. At this point, I realize that you can never, after Idols, especially after Green Day this year, I realized that you can never ever underestimate an artist you love's capacity to make something that spits in your face. That doesn't mean you have to go into every artistic endeavor you consume like I'm just, oh, this is the one where it's going to be bad. Oh no, that's no way to live. I'm not saying to live like that. I don't live like that. Mank came out today. That's David Fincher, and I trust him with my life. But like, I'd probably kill the dude if we spent more than 2 minutes together. So, yeah, just admire someone's songwriting. Admire their craft, admire their artistry. Personally, I cannot get behind artists anymore as people. I mean, Letitia Wright today was tweeting some anti-vaxxer shit. These people are not on our side. They're just not. And this 72-minute monolith to all of the stupid fucking ideas that have been running around in Billy Corgan's head for probably his entire life to some degree is just a great big signposter to just, there's a sincere possibility that everything you have ever loved in your life will kick you in the nuts.
She had records like Can't Be Tamed and Breakout, which had these huge, massive songs on it, like Born in the USA and The Climb. Like, no, regardless of what you think about those songs, they're huge songs.
No. Yeah. Born in the USA.
I heard that.
Never mind.
Yeah. Born in the USA.
Genuinely, thank you, Tyler. I needed that. I needed
to remind me that I could still feel.
It was entirely unintentional, but I'm glad you got something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have much to say about it.
August is a bit
Morgan hit the nail on the head.
August is a bit out of his element with girls get her done music.
Girls get her done.
Finishing the job.
Don't. That's not. No, that's a different thing altogether.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Good luck. Thank you. Good luck. Fuck you.
Look, this is a hard record to talk about. I was wishing you well.
I know, it just whatever. There's this one moment in one of the songs where like one of the craziest songs where like there's all this musical chaos going on, and then like coming through it like a fucking ray of light is this like distorted sample of Dennis Hopper and Blue Velvet saying, "The one thing I can't fucking stand is warm beer." And the moment that I heard that, I was convulsing with laughter.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and so it's just this bizarre trip of 70 fucking minutes of just. There's a song called "The Girls of Porn" that made me.
I love Alex Cameron.
It made me want to puree my insides.
See, you went Alex Cameron. I went Don Henley.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we are going to discuss Mr. Bungle's self-titled album on the podcast at certain points. So I won't.
California at a later date.
And California, which I'm looking forward to hearing also, I won't say any more, but Jesus.
Dear John Travolta, do you really want to be associated with a song that says he fucks himself as he fucks the world?
This might handily be the best thing John Travolta is associated with. But
blowout.
You make a fair point.
I just want to read some of these lyrics, just a
please
few.
Please.
I got yogurt meatloaf smeared all over my ass. I stick my weenie in 2 buns and then give it the gas. Sour cream from my spleen into Levi jeans. Gonna bust the seams with my refried beans. Ronald McDonald just loves to be fondled. With the Big Mac, he'll fuck it like a chicken McNugget. Colonel Sanders wants to goose Granny's loose caboose. He's gonna give her a boost with that Kentucky Fried Juice.
Yes.
Who amongst us can't say we've not felt that way, really?
Top sirloin from the groin, topped with dick cheese.
And you almost and you have to realize the placement of this song in the track list has to be intentional because it comes right after the song with the Colonel Sanders commercial sample.
Yeah, that's the thing. This record does that a lot. It'll have a vocal song at the end of a song that will lead into the next song. But I want to read more of these lines just because I had so much fun.
No, the structure is very intentional.
Take a dump, baby, squirt some gravy, pour some sugar on me, honey, make it brown and runny, give a little flavor flav back from the grave, gonna burn some toast, pump some humping rump roast.
I like how that implies that Flavor Flav was dead at the time.
Mix snack, paddywhack, jump in the sack, in fact, jerk the smack and crack jack from the back, banana rama or Rama banana, fucking Barry Manilow on the Copacabana.
Yeah. And you've got the amazing refrain of
Knick knack, paddywhack. You give your baby boner.
Give your dog a boner.
It's amazing to fucking hear Mike Patton just like clearly a very skilled vocalist do this like sublimely. Like he delivers this like he was born to fucking do it.
Knick knack, paddywhack. Give your dog a boner, baby. We came to party down your throat.
And then the surreal
demonetized. This, funnily enough, this is not the Biffy Clyro track I would have picked for my personal list, but they have like 10 candidates that they entered this year in this particular race.
Brave of them.
And bold creative decision to suck ass so completely. This is embarrassing.
It's just such a waste of time and such a strange, peculiar idea.
I mean, look, like it's not like he's going to be able to put it out in any other capacity when he's being a Twitch streamer. So,
not a parent, of course.
Let's see how that goes. Or a husband. For the fans out there. But it's all done in the most self-aggrandizing and really kind of upsetting way possible. Like it feels really like she do the best to raise our young. We nothing without our women. One love to the single mothers. And
all women are
like,
queens.
The framing is like coming back to the title.
He's a thought.
Coming back to the title.
You have this song, and it's also like Till the War is Won in so many ways. Where it's just Joe Talbot getting on the stage, being like, "Oi, listen to me! Respect women's bodies! You heard that from me! You know."
Oh, but the thing that
you heard it from me. I said that. No, it was me. Make sure you all know I was the one who said you need to respect women. You got that down. It was Joe Talbot. Joe Talbot said that.
Yeah, but the thing that basically he attributes this motive to the killer, that he's killing these hundreds of people because he wants, people to think about how messed up society is.
He's so woke. He shot people.
He's trying to do... Well, let's move swiftly along then to our number 8 record, which, Morgan, is yours to introduce.
Yeah.
It's like the kid who bullied you in high school is like come and is masturbating on your doorstep asking you to love them.
Okay. August, is there anything you want to add about this album?
No.
I think what people seem to forget when in retrospect, because this album has been memory hold a little bit, but people still seem to forget in retrospect just what a barren wasteland the second half of this record is. Like, you've got songs like Marsh,
My name is Martian. I'm out this world, where he does these terrible voices. You've got songs
Ladies
like...
and gentlemen, introduce you to my friend Dr. Richard.
You've got songs like Little Engine Go, bro. Where he has not learned the lesson that we tried to teach him with Venom.
Songs like Devi McCallion's hook on Spells, or like the Into the Void.
Black magic, yeah.
Black magic, yeah. I go into the void. Oh my god, it's like if hip hop was metal at the same time, and the fact that it samples Ozzy Osbourne going crazy has nothing to do with that.
Oh God, no!
What?
Please, God, help me.
The past 30 to 45 seconds is some of the best this podcast has ever been. I just want to...
I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you.
It's just so hard.
Yeah, I feel like
it's been one of my most returned to releases of the year. It's so easy to consume, but also just like it's just got so much there. There's something for everybody. Go fucking support her. She makes great music.
Absolutely. Although I will say her album is, in the UK at least, no longer on Spotify as it was at the beginning. Only on Bandcamp. Yeah, which is I will release my album on Spotify, but all my singles are only on Bandcamp. Go buy Backwash album on Bandcamp. Support her. Support trans artists on Bandcamp like Backwash and Black Dresses and Debbie McCallion and Nada Rook. Go do it.
Yes, agree. I just want to say, Saoirse, that with the greatest of respect, it was funny how you said her album's not on Spotify. I will be releasing my album.
Hey, that's hilarious.
Expert level. Just you.
Anyway.
And they say we're not good at segues.
We were lifting off the tarmac, and I timed it so that the riff in Genesis kicks in as we were taking off, and it was like, fuck, okay.
You left your body behind?
Yeah, I was like, I could have lifted that plane into the fucking sky myself in that moment.
Superman Returns shit.
I just love the way that riff comes in, and then you just hear Chino fucking screaming, "I reject!"
Take that, Antoine Fantoine.
Punisher, I would argue, is the album of the year for 2020 for everyone, not just this podcast, not that just for me. This is just the sound of loneliness. This is the sound of yearning. This is the sound of being alone in your room in the middle of the night and wishing that you were fucking anywhere else in the world. And, it does capture all these things so broadly, but on like a just track-to-track basis, there's so much to love and admire about such simple songs that upon first glance, you might not think all that much of. But when you listen to something like Garden Song and you hear the lush arrangements, the beautiful production, the amazing lyricism that Phoebe weaves throughout the entirety of the record, and the way it sort of has these emotional climaxes with songs like Kyoto, songs like Chinese Satellite, songs like Graceland 2, where it sort of picks you up from where the other records have knocked you down. And just on a more personal note, I have been very open about everything I've gone through in the past life, my whole fucking life. I've basically spilled a lot of shit that I had never told a living soul before, ever. I've divulged things on this podcast that I've never told Morgan. And I feel like Punisher was what broke the dam for me. It sat me down and confronted me in a way that no other piece of art did, as somebody who left a terrible, terrible toxic relationship that left them broken, battered, unsure, and withered. It was soul food that I needed more than anything in the world. And it's been my crutch this year. I've listened to this album, mathematically listened to this album according to fucking Last FM a bare minimum of 80 times. I want you to take that in for a moment and consider how much I have to listen to an album from start to finish to hear it 80 times in the less than 9-month span that it's been out. And I know it like the back of my hand. Like I hear the opening chords to every song 5 seconds before they happen. These songs are I'm Edward Norton in Fight Club. It was me. That wasn't just stuff in there, it was me. But I mean it sincerely. And like, I've not exactly hidden it, but I consider Punisher to be my favorite album ever. I have not had an experience with a record that is this profoundly emotional, that is this comforting, this scary, this brilliant. It's not just a singer-songwriter record for me. It's not just a good album from a good artist for me. It's like looking into the monolith from 2001. It's like seeing somebody take all of my emotions and spread it across some fucking picture that only I know how to understand. And it makes it feel like it was made for me. It's one of those albums that it's just like, God, I'm glad that it's gotten the acclaim and success that it did. And I'm glad that pretty much everybody here loves this in a similar way that I do. And in some ways, I even like that not everyone's connected with it, because it proves that it's like a fallible piece of art, that it's just like everything else. And I think that's important to remember a lot of the time. But it also is something that's just like, if only I got to love this, if it was only me and everyone else in the world hated it, it means so much to me. I don't care. I don't care. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's so... You just take a look at the cover, and you take a look at the image of Phoebe in a fucking weird skeleton footy pajama staring at the sky while this weird fucking light just goes over her, and it's just this encompassing feeling, this standing in the middle of a chasm where you're confronted by nothing but the stars and the sky, and it's beautiful, but it's so quiet. And there's not been a piece of art that I have experienced this year that I've taken more comfort in. And as somebody who, I struggle with anxiety, I struggle with depression, I have struggled with getting out of a terrible relationship that has impacted the way that I behave even now, and it has been a hard year. It is December, and I'm tired. And there is nothing more important to me in the world than something that can tell me that everything will be fine and mean it. Because it's so easy to be facile, it's so easy to be surface level, it's so easy to just say these things and be comforted by them just because somebody said them. But it's also something to feel like they mean it and to feel seen. And I feel like that it's incorporated to the concept of what the album is. It's Punisher. Punisher is a song that Phoebe has elaborated upon that is about the relationship that artists have with the people who consume their art. And the fact that me being such a virulent fan of this album and of Phoebe, it's poetic and weird, and I have to confront that part of myself that depends on art for what I do. But like, I'm a manic depressive bipolar. I'm a mess. I feel everything to a 10. I have so many emotions. I have so many feelings. They are big. I lug them around with me every single second of every day, and so many times throughout 2020 they have felt like they are heavier than I can carry. And Punisher makes them feel like they aren't that heavy anymore. And that's it.